My name is Michael Young, and I'm a lawyer who handles contested estates and trusts in Texas. In many of my videos, I've explained the elements and the signs of undue influence. Undue influence is a claim that can overturn a will, if proven. It can overturn a trust. It can overturn a deed. Along with mental capacity is one of the most common grounds to overturn one of those legal instruments. Undue influence can come in many forms and flavors, and you can find Texas cases citing evidence of undue influence involving many things. And usually they're not as extreme as putting a gun to someone's head and saying, sign this document or you're going to be shot. It's usually not that brazen, it's usually more insidious. But what would be a huge red flag? Something in a relationship that would signal a high probability of undue influence, and what would likely convince a jury of undue influence. And I would have to say, in my experience, it would be physical abuse of the testator, particularly a vulnerable testator, a testator in poor health, and possibly elderly. If there is evidence of physical abuse of that testator, and the person who is the abuser benefited substantially from a will or a trust, that is going to raise numerous red flags. First of all, uh, it's going to get you as the contesting party past summary judgment, and it's going to likely convince a jury, first of all, that that person is unworthy of receiving the assets, which is important to a jury. And second of all, it's going to provide a very valid legal basis for overturning a will or a trust or a deed based on undue influence, because a physical threat, even if it's not a gun, just pushing, shoving, anything, particularly if it's documented through witness statements or medical records. And if it's an elderly person, it very well may be documented through medical records or adult protective services report. If it's a caregiver, particularly whether that be a family member or a nurse or any sort of home health aide, if they're involved in that abuse, there should be a report filed. And it will often be reflected in adult protective service records or records of a treating physician. If you're involved in a will contest in which undue influence has been alleged, feel free to give me a call.